Hey, it's Steve Wagner, Virtual Properties Realty. I'm here to bring you additional information about the Ambassador Program. This is about how to follow the 7-step process for creating a level 1, for registering one of your agent prospects. A level 1 is the first step in acquiring passive residual income. And obviously the main, theme with this video is, hey, how do you get paid and how do you avoid disappointment? People are going to have disappointment when they're trying to incorporate the laws of other programs that they may be aware of, or they may have experienced in other companies or other MLM type programs or something. This is not an MLM program, but some people are trying to apply their rules, and that's not going to work. So there's a sequence test. Things must be all done in a sequence. You can't really skip a step, or in most cases, it's going to be an invalid registration. So let's go over the 7 steps in sequence. The first thing you have to do is to become licensed with any of the 3 virtual properties realty companies. Okay, and then you must be on plan 1 or plan 2 to be eligible. You cannot be on the transaction plan. You must officially join the Ambassador Program, sign the paperwork. You must be the first to identify and properly notify via submission form of a potential prospect who might want to join Virtual Properties Realty. And that submission form can be found at the ambassadorprogram.com, not the ambassador, ambassadorplan.com. Let me say that right, ambassadorplan.com. And so if you look on that right-hand corner, right-hand side of the screen you're looking at, it's got the red button. That is what you do, is you click the red button and open up a web submission form, and you put about 5 lines in there. It takes about 15-30 seconds. You push submit, and that's time, date, and stamps that registration for you, locks you in, and you'll get a receipt letting you know that we have gotten it, and that is your protection right there, and so forth. So just so you know, the red button, I always say red button is your friend. That is what we're requiring for you to do. Don't try to text us. Don't try to email us. Please listen to me now, because people are, even though we say this, they want to do it their way. They want to hand us a piece of paper. They want to text us. They want to phone call us. Anyway, except for that red button. The red button is your friend. That's the only way under this program that you secure your passive residual income. And by the way, that prospect must be expecting a call from Virtual Properties. They must be desiring to learn more about Virtual Properties. They must be ready, willing, and able. Because if it turns into a cold call or even a warm call, your registration is basically invalid. And if your registration is unaware of Virtual Properties to call, that's invalid. If your registration is disinterested in meeting with Virtual Properties, seems that way, and it's becoming more of a cold call for our interviewer, that's invalid. That's what we call spamming, when you're just putting names in there, and that's one of the things that really irritates us on that. That is all cheating in this program. This must be a real ready, willing, and able prospect in which you're first to identify and notify via web submission form. That's a lot to do. Ready, willing, and able prospect that you are first to identify and notify via the web submission form. Okay, and the main thing to understand is that being first to notify means that we Virtual Properties can't already be kind of talking with them, can't have had a recent interview, can't be already have a appointment set up, because sometimes word will get out that someone's coming in to interview with Virtual Properties. That could be either from another submission from another ambassador, or it could be from the $15,000 marketing we just did on postcards, and that goes into our call center. Once we've already logged that we're having an interview, we don't really need the ambassador's help at that point, because we've already spent the marketing money to identify this person. And so you must be the first to identify and notify. The prospect must come in for a face-to-face interview. Sometimes we will sign up over the phone. If we sign your prospect up over the phone, don't worry, we're not gonna, that's not invalid, but I'm just kind of thinking, normally we're just trying to set that interview. And we're trying to get them in as soon as possible, but they have 45 days in which to come in. If they're really working with us and we know they're interested in coming in, can we extend that date? Yes, we can, and we will. We want to be fair, but we have to have some kind of rule in there. 45 days is generally enough time, but if there are exceptions to that, and we will use common sense. There's another 45 days. That's after they come in. They have 45 days to become licensed. Now again, I'll give that little asterisk. if they're making sense as to why it's holding up. One recently, it took us a long time to kind of get them in, and we did not, it took more than 45 days, but we kept that registration firm because we knew we had great communication that whole time. And so, but typically per the book, it's 45 days after the interview to get them to become licensed. And obviously, that, just so you know, everyone knows they have to remain licensed for you to get passive residual income. I think that's common sense there. Then the final step is the people you bring in have to earn commissions. I hope this clears things up and makes it easy for you now to register your prospects as level 1 and start earning passive residual income. Thank you so much for listening to this.